Start of another busy week live from the National News Studios. I am Thilinu Deratna and I'm joined by Sharon Mascrinius tonight. Coming up are your top stories.
Proposals to increase electricity charges by 57%. Petroleum employees imprison the Power and Energy Secretary in the office. The US pledges to continuously extend assistance for the maintenance of strong relations with the IMF. The President meets the Russian envoy. Sri Lanka's export revenue has shown an increase last month. The Samagi Jana Balawegaya says both the President and the Prime Minister have failed. The Paddy Marketing Board commences selling off rice. The Japanese government requested citizens to minimize power consumption.
Now on your top local stories this evening. In light of what's been happening in the country, several decisions have been taken by the government to mitigate the fuel crisis in the country. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers has decided to provide fuel only for essential services from midnight today.
The Cabinet spokesman, Minister Bandula Guruvardhana, said that this decision will be in effect until July 10th. Cabinet spokesman Minister Bandula Guruvardhana said that Cabinet has decided to utilize the limited stocks of CPC only for essential services with effect from midnight tonight. All other groups should engage in duties from their residences. Therefore, only essential services will be conducted until the 10th of next month. Accordingly, school heads have been given authority to consider problems relating to transport and conducting of rural schools. All schools other than other rural schools will recommence activities on the 10th of next month. All measures are being taken for the continuous supply of fuel and gas from the 10th of next month. The government regrets over the temporary difficulties experienced by the general public. The SLTB will engage in short-distance travel and interprovincial transport will have to be suspended. However, the tourism industry and the export industries in the private sector will function using the limited resources of fuel.
කනිතෙල් සංස්ථාව සතුව තියෙන සීමිත තොග බෙදා හැරීමේ ගැටලුවක් මතුවෙනවා. ඒ නිසා තමයි ජූලි මාස 10 වෙනි දින තෙක් අත්‍යවශ්‍ය සේවා පමණක් පවත්වාගෙන ගොස් අනිත් කටයුතු తాවකාලික වශයෙන් අත්හිටවීමේ වැඩපිළිවෙලක් තමයි ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන බවට කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලය තීරණය කළේ. ඒ අනුව පාසල් ගත්තොත් ඒ සඳහා අධ්‍යාපන ඇමැතුමා සඳහන් කළා තීරණ ගැනීමේ බලය ලබලා දීලා තියෙනවා පාසල් ප්‍රධානීන්ට පළාත් අධ්‍යාපන අධ්‍යක්ෂකතුමන්ලට ගම්බදව තිබෙන පොදු ප්‍රවාහනය විශාල වශයෙන් යොදා නොගෙන පාසල් පවත්වාගෙන යන්න පුළුවන්. අනිත් පාසල් 10 වෙනිදා පස්සේ පටන් ගන්නවා. 10 වෙනිදා සිට අකණ්ඩව ඛනිජ තෙල් සහ ගෑස් සැපීම පිළිබඳ ක්‍රමානුකූල වැඩපිළිවෙලක් සකස් කරලා ක්‍රියාත්මක කිරීම සඳහා අවශ්‍ය සියලු කටයුතු යොදලා තිබෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා මේ ඇතිවන తాවකාලික දුෂ්කරතාවය පිළිබඳ අපි බලවත්සේ රජයේ වශයෙන් කනගාටුවටපත් වෙනවා. මොකද මේ අපේ රටේ ඉතිහාසයේ නොවිරු දැවැන්තම රාජ්‍ය මූල්‍ය හා විදේශ විනිමය පිළිබඳ අර්බුදය ඒ යටතේ අපි විදේශවලින් කලින් ලබාගෙන තිබෙන ණයතුරුස් නිසි ආකාරයේ නොගෙවීම කරන කොටගෙන අපිට ආනයනය කරන්න අවශ්‍ය ණයවර ලිපි විවෘත කරවා ගැනීම අනාදීන් ඇතිවෙලා තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න රාශියක් තමයි මේ විසඳගෙන 10 වෙනිදා සිට ඛනිජ තෙල් හා ගෑස් අඛණ්ඩව සැපීම සඳහා වැඩපිළිවෙල ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන තෙක් මේ කාල පරිච්ඡේදය තුල අද මධ්‍යම රාත්‍රියේ 12 සිට ජූලි 10 වෙනිදා දක්වා අත්‍යවශ්‍ය සේවා සඳහා පමණක් පවත්වාගෙන යන ලෙසත් කෙටි දුර සඳහා අවශ්‍ය කරන පොදු ප්‍රවාහන සේවය ලංකා ගමනාගමන මණ්ඩලයේ බස් රථ මගින් ලබා දෙන්නටත් අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. අන්තර් පළාත් ගමනාගමනය බොහෝ දුරට අත්හිටවන්න සිද්ධ වෙනවා මේ තිබෙන සීමිත තෙල් තොග පැවතීම කරන කොටගෙන සංචාරක ව්‍යාපාරයේ අපනයන කර්මාන්ත යනාදී මේ සීමිත ඉන්ධන භාවිතය තුලින් අකණ්ඩව පවත්වාගෙන යන්නට පුද්ගලික අංශයත් උත්සාහ දරයි කියලා අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා.
මේ තීන්දුව ගත්තේ
Minister Harin Fernando said that the decision has been taken as a country with enormous commitments. The necessary fuel stocks will be stockpiled in the coming days to meet the requirements after the reopening of the country on the 10th of next month. However, fuel and other essential supplies will be continuously made for essential services. The minister further said that this is not a lockdown, but it is a program based on work from home till the 10th of next month. All daily activities are being carried out as usual. The minister has also requested overseas Sri Lankans to come forward and assist to elevate the problem. The government is successfully engaging in discussions with the IMF and other groups in the past 5 weeks. Minister Kanchana Wijesekara and other ministers will conduct talks in Qatar and Russia. The minister has expressed hope for the country returning to normalcy after the 10th of next month. He has also called upon the general public to create the necessary background for the country resuming daily routines as usual. He has called upon the media to enlighten the general public without creating unnecessary problems. The Public Utilities Commission says that the Ceylon Electricity Board has requested for an electricity charges increase of 82% for this year.
However, the position of the Commission is that increases in electricity charges should not exceed 57% for domestic electricity consumers. Chairman of the Commission, Janaka Ratnayaka, said at a media briefing in Colombo today that a relief for the domestic electricity users is anticipated. Chairman of the Public Utility Commission, Janaka Ratnayaka, said that the CEB has requested the Public Utility Commission over revision of electricity charges several months ago. Accordingly, the Commission has decided to conduct a public inquiry tomorrow, and an advertisement to this effect is scheduled to publish in tomorrow's newspaper. The opinions and suggestions of the consumer public is appreciated. The consumers are able to make their written submissions to the Public Utility Commission during a period of 3 weeks starting tomorrow. The Commission has recommended the government not to make substantial increases on consumers who are using 30, 60 and 90 units of electricity. This facility should be granted to 65 million users belonging to low-income categories.
ලංකා විදුලි බල මණ්ඩලය ඇත්තටම යෝජනා කරලා තිබ්බේ 835ක වැනි විශාල ප්‍රමාණයේ විදුලි බිල වැඩි කිරීමක්. ඒ අනුව අපි මේක සාකච්ඡාවට භාජනය කරලා අපි තීරණය කරනු ලැබුවා මේ වැඩි වෙන ප්‍රමාණය ඒ කියන්නේ ඒකක 30ත් 60ත් 90ත් කියන ඒ කාණ්ඩවල සිටින පාරිභෝගිකයන්ගේ බිල විශාල වශයෙන් වැඩි නොකර අපි රජයට නිර්දේශ කරනු ලැබුවා ඒ අයට සහනාධාරයක් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ලබා දිය යුතුයි කියලා. ඒ අනුව විදුලි බල මණ්ඩලයේ එල්ලලා තිබුණු බිලියන 512ක පමණ පිරිවැය මත පදනම් වූ සංශෝධනය අපි අඩු කරනු ලැබුවා බිලියන 65කින් පමණ. ඒ අනුව අපි මුදල් අමාත්‍යාංශයට නිර්දේශ කරනු ලැබුවා බිලියන 65ක සහනාධාරයක් විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ අඩු ආදායම්ලාභී ජන කොට්ටාස වලට ලැබිය යුතුයි කියලා. ඒ අනුව අර කලින් තිබ්බ 835 වැඩිවීම අපිට පුළුවන් වුණා අඩු කරන්න. ඒ අනුව අපි ඉතා සාධාරණ ක්‍රමයකට සංශෝධනය ඉදිරිපත් කරලා තියෙනවා. අපෙන් ඉල්ලීමක් කරලා තිබ්බේ දැනට තියෙන රුපියල් 16කට තියෙන ඒකකයේ විකුණුම් මිල 32යි 7 ගාණක් තමයි ඉල්ලලා තිබ්බේ. ඒ ප්‍රමාණය අපි යෝජනා කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ ප්‍රමාණය රුපියල් 28ක් පමණ ප්‍රමාණයකට තමයි සීමා කරලා තියෙන්නේ. අපි මේ ප්‍රොපෝස් කරලා තියෙන්නේ යුනිට් 30ට වඩා අඩු ප්‍රමාණයක් පාවිච්චි කරන ජනතාවට ඉස්සර අපි charge කරේ රුපියල් 30ක විතර fixed rate එකක්. මේ ප්‍රමාණය 430 දක්වා වැඩි කරලා තිබ්බා CB එකෙන්. අපි මේ ප්‍රමාණය අඩු කරලා තියෙන රුපියල් 150කට. ඒ වගේම 30යි 60ත් අතර ඒකක පාවිච්චි කරන අයගේ fixed rate එක රුපියල් 1100ට ප්‍රොපෝස් කරලා තිබ්බ එක අපි අඩු කරලා තියෙන රුපියල් 300කට. ඒ වගේම 60ත් 90ත් අතර ප්‍රමාණය රුපියල් 1300ක් ප්‍රොපෝස් කරලා තිබ්බ ප්‍රමාණය CB එක අපි අඩු කරලා තියෙන ඒක 450ට.
Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara was scheduled to leave for the state of Qatar today with the objective of speedily receiving the required quantities of fuel for the country. Minister Nazir Ahmed was also expected to accompany the tour. The two ministers were scheduled to engage in talks with the Prime Minister of Qatar, Tamim bin Ahmed Al Thani, and heads in the power sector of Qatar. In addition, the minister is scheduled to visit Kuwait. Chairman of the Sri Lanka Transport Board, Kingsley Ranawaka, says the National Transportation Commission will have to decide upon increasing of bus fares of SLTB. Employees of the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation were engaged in an agitation by blocking the entrance of the Ministry of Power and Energy and preventing the Ministry Secretary leaving the premises. The objective of the protest has been to prevent the implementation of relevant cabinet paper pertaining to hand over the powers to the private sector for the importation and distribution of petroleum oil. Long queues continue to be witnessed near filling stations to purchase fuel. Measures have been taken at certain filling stations since last night to introduce a coupon system for those lining up in queues. Accordingly, a number of being given to those waiting. A methodology has been prepared to inform the individuals having numbers on the receipt of the full stocks at the filling stations as soon as possible. Vegetable farmers in Damulla are experiencing severe difficulties due to not having kerosene oil for the activation of water pumps. The farmers charge the filling stations for handing over their kerosene oil supplies for buses. Farmers in Matale and Anuradhapura districts are affected in this regard. The Hanton SLTB depot has commenced issuance of diesel for private buses, buses transporting school children and vehicles engaged in essential services yesterday. Depot manager K. Kirthiratna said that 4,000 litres of diesel were issued today. Distribution of 1,200 Lofts gas cylinders to consumers in Kaluthara and surrounding areas has commenced this morning. A 3-hour power cut back takes place today as well. In daytime, the power discontinuation is restricted to 1 hour and 40 minutes, and at night time, the duration of the power cut is at 1 hour 20 minutes. Residents in Koskoda were engaged in a protest at Koskoda filling station demanding fuel. They were carrying torches during the agitation. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has instructed officials today to take steps to make payments to the relevant companies owing money for fuel supplies according to a plan.
He has also ordered to take speedy measures to implement the importation of fuel using existing funds. A meeting between representatives of leading companies who have been importing fuel to the country for a long period and the President took place at the President's office in Colombo this morning. The Governor of the Central Bank has also endorsed the President's directives. It has also been decided on this occasion to streamline the fuel supply through the funds of the Central Bank and the Petroleum Corporation. It has been agreed that in the event of failing to purchase fuel through the existing procedure of opening LCs, to commence talks with parent companies over purchasing fuel subject to concessions. The companies and the President has also ordered to prepare a systematic program for the proper management of fuel supplies in the next few months. The representatives of fuel supplies have pointed out on this occasion the need for the Governor of the Central Bank and the Secretary to the Treasury to directly intervene by conducting talks with the mother companies, international banks and financial institutions. Minister Kanchana Wijesekar and President's Secretary Gamini Senarath and other state officials have also participated in this discussion. The President has also met Russian Ambassador Yuri Materi at the President's office in Colombo this morning. Sri Lanka and Russia celebrate 65 years of diplomatic relations this year. The President has recalled on this occasion the strong bonds of friendship and diplomatic relations between the two countries and the cooperation extended by Russia on every occasion, including the period of COVID-19. Attention has also been focused at the discussion to further enhance Russia's demand for local teas as well as to enhance bilateral cooperation in the fields of coal, gas, fuel, aviation, education, trade and fertilizer. A high-ranking team of U.S. diplomats who are currently engaged in a tour in Sri Lanka met with the Prime Minister today.
The representatives at the meeting with the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa have pledged that they would extend assistance continuously at every level to vigorously maintain the established relationship with the International Monetary Fund. The meeting between President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and the officials representing the U.S. Department of State and the Treasury took place at the President's office in Colombo this morning. The President has praised the delegation for engaging in a visit in Sri Lanka and briefed on the progress of the talks with the IMF regarding the ongoing economic and social difficulties. Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for South and Central Asia, Kelly Kilderling, as well as the Deputy Assistant Secretary of the U.S. Treasury for Asia, Robert Caproth, have stated on this occasion the instructions given by the U.S. President Joe Biden. They have pointed out that the president has advised them to extend maximum assistance at every instance to Sri Lanka to ward off the existing difficulties faced by Sri Lanka during the present period. The delegation has also expressed their appreciation to the president over the freedom provided to everybody to express their opinion without making any obstructions on democratic values. The U.S. representatives further said that they will request from the international banks to assist Sri Lanka in opening up letters of credit to purchase medicines and essential items. Meanwhile, the United States has also agreed to extend technical assistance for fiscal management in Sri Lanka. This decision was reached when Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for South and Central Asia Kelly Kilderling met with the Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe today. The U.S. diplomatic group also stated that its support for the ongoing talks between Sri Lanka and the International Monetary Fund as well.
Export revenue in Sri Lanka in the month of May this year has been increased to $980 million. The Export Development Board says that this is an increase of 9.9% in comparison to the corresponding period last year. A striking increase in the production of export sectors such as garments, textiles, electric and electronics has been recorded. The garment and textile exports in May of this year have gone up by 30%. Similarly, a 5.8% increase has been witnessed in coconut-related manufacturing items. The EDB adds that a rise in the production of electronic components has also been reported last month. This represents an increase of 18.8%. The United States of America has extended a higher contribution of 25.2% of exports. The United Kingdom has contributed by increasing 8.2% of exports in the apparel, garments, electric and electronic sectors, as well as in coconut-related products. The estimated value of service-oriented exports in the period from January to May this year was $1,472.7 million. The board further points out that this is an increase of 93.3% in comparison to the corresponding period last year.
A program to provide high-quality rice at concessionary prices to the general public has commenced at the Ministry of Agriculture premises in Battaramulla today. Rice stocks of Paddy Marketing Board were introduced to the market under the brand name PMB Rice on this occasion. Bags of rice of 5 kilograms and 10 kilograms could be purchased at sales centre located at the ministry premises from today. In addition, the packets of rice are being sold at 3 retail outlets of the Food Promotion Board. The PMB is planning to issue to the market on monthly basis 10,000 metric tons of rice. In parallel to this program, the NLDB Institute is engaged in a program to sell milk products as well as coconuts and eggs. Leader of the National People's Power, Anurakumara Dissanayake, says that his party is ready to take over the administration of the country and that they have the ability to bring the country out of the crisis.
And in the meantime, former chairman of the Ceylon Electricity Board, MMC Ferdinando, was called before the COPE Committee of Parliament last Thursday, and the objective was to make inquiries regarding certain statements alleged to have been made by the former chairman before the COPE Committee on the 10th of this month. He had stated on this occasion that the president had created an impact on him to commence a renewable power project with the Adani Company of India. However, he made an apology at a recent COPE Committee meeting regarding this statement. The visuals of his testimony was released to the media today.
Chairman of the COPE Committee, Parliamentarian Professor Charitha Herath, informs the committee that several decisions have been taken based on the letter submitted to the COPE Committee by the former chairman of the CEB. He made these remarks when former chairman was convened before the committee recently to withdraw a statement he made to the committee on the 20th of this month. The letter submitted by the former chairman along with the attached sent to the Secretary to the Treasury SR Artigala were tabled at the committee. The committee has agreed to the request made by former chairman of the COPE committee over deleting certain words in the statement he made before the committee on the 10th of this month. It has also been reported that the Ferdinando had accepted the fact that he made a wrong statement over being influenced at a COPE committee meeting on the 10th. The committee has also made a lengthy inquiry on the statement made by the former chairman on the 25th of November 2021. The Ferdinando has responded to a query regarding why he failed to mention an objection by one committee member in the attached letter sent to the President's secretary, saying that this had happened due to an oversight. Ferdinando also said that decisions pertaining to the projects between two governments are being taken by cabinet decisions, and no such decision has so far been received for the relevant project.
The Samagi Jana Balavege says both the President and the Prime Minister have become failures at present.
Parliamentarian Thissattanaika said at a media briefing in Colombo today that the government is unable to provide solutions to any problems of general public. SJB parliamentarian Thissattanaika said that the fuel price increase should not have been carried out by the government, as it would become a tremendous burden on the people. The government is failing to supply fuel even at a higher price. He has questioned as to what measures have been taken by the government to resolve the gas and fuel and electricity problems in the past few months. Leader of the National People's Power, Anrukumar Dissanayake, says that his party is ready to take over the administration and country, that they have the ability to bring the country out of the crisis.
Participating in a protest rally in Anuradhapura, he added that he should be given the opportunity to elect his cabinet of ministers under his leadership. Agitators of the campaign have conducted their rally after coming in procession from public market premises to the Anuradhapura new bus stand. Leader Anrukumar Dissanayake said that all international organizations have warned that the crisis would worsen. This government is unable to face the challenge. He added that they are prepared as a national campaign to rebuild the country. Anurakumara Dissanayake further said that if Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Ranil Wickremesinghe prepares to hand them over the administration, they're prepared to start tomorrow itself. If the National People's Power is allowed to form a government with the participation of 20 of its members, they would be able to embark upon a path to resolve the crises. The National Freedom Front says that the government is in the process of destroying the resources of the country by making use of the existing crisis.
Leader of the party, parliamentarian Vimal Veeravansa, has made these accusations at a media briefing in Colombo today. Parliamentarian Vimal Veeravansa said that the government is not resolving the problem but on a path of destruction. He has also said that Madam Sirima Bandanayake built the petroleum several decades ago to break the monopoly of the foreign companies. He added that according to Kanchana Wijesekara, the former Prime Minister had taken a wrong decision. Minister Harin Fernando says that permanent solutions would be able to resolve the gas shortage within the next 6 months.
He made these remarks at a media briefing held in Colombo today, which was also attended by Minister Manusha Nanayakkara. Minister Harin Fernando said that Sri Lanka has fallen into the lowest level in history. He said that the JVP leader asking power in order to resurrect the country within 6 months is quite funny. Minister Harin Fernando said that Ranil Wickremesinghe was given only 5 weeks and his performance will have to be judged at least 6 months after. He has expressed optimism over resolution of the crisis within the next 6 months.
Minister of Transport, Highways and Mass Media Bandula Gunawardena was sworn in as Acting Minister of Education before President Gotabaya Rajapaksa today. The reason being Education Minister Susil Premajayantha leaving abroad on an official tour. Bandula Gunawardena has functioned as Minister of Education from 2005 to 2010. Minister of Transport, Highways and Mass Media, Bandula Gunawardena, was sworn in as Acting Minister of Education before President Gotabaya Rajapaksa today.
Well, on the same note, a discussion to popularize cycling took place at the Ministry of Mass Media today. Minister Bandula Gunawardena has presided over the event. The meeting was attended by officials in the transport sector, the Sri Lanka Police and the heads of mass media institutions. An in-depth attention has been focused to propagate the use of cycles by taking into consideration the existing fuel crisis. The meeting has also dealt with the issues of developing strategies such as park and drive and protecting cyclists from accidents. The police officials have pointed out on the need to provide an understanding on traffic laws to the push cyclists. Secretary to the Ministry of Mass Media, Anusha Palpita, said on this occasion that necessary measures are being taken to extend propaganda programs in this regard by state media institutions. Minister Bandula Gunawardena has instructed the officials to take speedy measures for the implementation of the program.
The general public appears to be focusing greater attention on engaging in cultivation activities as a remedy to come out of the existing food shortage. The Sri Lanka Army has commenced a program to grow maize under the Green Agriculture Project. The work got underway at the Army farm in Miravati in Tambutegama today. Through participation of a group of senior Army officials, including the Chief of Staff of the Sri Lanka Army, Major General Jagat Kodituwaku, the project has been planned to implement in the extent of 500 acres of land. Under the first stage of the program, maize will be planted in 100 acres. Home gardening programs are being successfully implemented in Bogas, Vavavonia. A special feature has been the application of organic fertilizer in the programs. It has also been reported that around 650 farmer families are engaged in home gardening and they are directing their surplus harvest to the market. A farmer in Maharatmale in Hinguragoda is maintaining successful cultivation using organic fertilizer. He is a proud owner of the prosperous paddy cultivation as well as bountiful vegetable cultivation comprising of elabatu and neem. That's a look at local news. When we come back, we're going to speak about Japan's heat wave on overseas.
කොළඹදී විශ්වාසයෙන් ට්‍රීට් කරන්න. Prima Treats. Life is a treat.
Welcome back to the news, and it's time for some foreign stories. Japan's government has urged people in Tokyo and its surrounding areas to use less electricity, as it warned that supplies will be strained as the country faces a heat wave. The Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry experts demand for power to be high in the afternoon hours. It said people should switch off unnecessary lights but still use air conditioning to avoid heat strokes. For weeks, Japanese officials have warned of a power crunch as temperatures rise. Over the weekend, the temperature in central Tokyo rose about 35 degrees Celsius, while the city of Isasaki saw a record temperature of over 40 degrees.
Australia has made history as the site of NASA's first rocket launch from a commercial space report outside the United States. The launch was also the first in Australia in more than 25 years. The rocket is NASA's first of the three to blast off from the newly constructed Arnhem Space Centre off the edge of the Northern Territory. Scientists hope it will help them study the impact of stars' light on the habituality of nearby planets. Onlookers who travelled to the remote site glimpsed the rocket for only about 10 seconds before it shot out of the view. The sounding rocket's tenor in space was similarly short. The 30-metre-long projectile fell back to the Earth after a planned 15 minutes. But the data gathered by the mission's X-ray camera in that time will help illuminate the secrets.
After a successful launch, NASA will use...
Prima Kotumi Pantan.
sports news for tonight. After a dazzling victory of 3-2 over the ODI series between Sri Lanka and Australia, our team is geared for the Test series, which is about to begin next week.
Both matches of the current Test series will be played at the Galle International Cricket Stadium. It was in the year 2016 that Australia had participated in a Test match series in Sri Lanka for the last time. Sri Lanka team had won the Test series by 3-0. The two countries have competed in 31 Test matches and Australia won 19 of them. Sri Lanka had won only 4 Test matches. 8 Test series had ended without a result. The Sri Lankan cricket has decided to reserve the first upcoming Test match in Galle to commemorate late Australian super spinner Shane Warne. The iChannel of the national television will bring a live telecast of the Test cricket series.
Well, the Inter-Schools Rugby League is happening these days, and quite the action is going on at the grounds in Colombo, with Isipathana, Royal and St. Peter's actually securing victories over the last few weeks.
Match between Isipathana Vidyalaya Colombo and Science College Mount Lavinia took place at Havelock Grounds in Colombo. The Isipathana players, who played skillfully since the beginning of the match, have emerged victorious to 18-9. The Isipathana team was leading 13-6 at the end of the first half of the game. Royal College Colombo beat St. Anthony's College Kandy 22-12 in a rugby encounter played at the Royal College grounds. The Royal team was leading 12-5 at the end of the first half. The Wesley College Colombo has competed with Vidyartha College Kandy at the CR grounds in Colombo. The Wesley team took an unassailable lead to 28-0 at the end of the first half. The final tally was also in favour of Wesley team for 38-7. St. Peter's College Bambalapitiya has competed with Dharmaraja College Kandy at St. Peter's College grounds in Bambalapitiya. At the end of the first half, both teams were tied up for 12 points each. Yet at closer play, St. Peter's scored 27 points to 12 points secured by the Dharmaraja team.
Prima Kotumi, Pantan.
Well, it's a wrap on tonight's Rupavahini English News. Join us once again tomorrow at the very same time. Until then, thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great night.